here. Oh,
Come on, baby.
oh,
Mama
maybe
needs a book club. Let's bring it.
it's there.
Hey! Okay.
Okay, welcome everyone. Book club.
Book club. Yay! We love book
Hey,
club.
we hope you had a great Christmas.
Yes. How was your Christmas, Ellie?
Um, it was good.
Good.
My family didn't show up until Monday. Like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So we kind of had our official Christmas on Monday.
Nice.
It was fun. How about you?
Ours was great. We had all of our kids home, which was the first time in 2 years, and we got a smoker and had like so much meat. My teenage boys were like, "This is the best Christmas ever." Food comas all over the place. It was fantastic.
Why haven't you just bought us meat every Christmas, Mom?
I know, right? Like because I couldn't smoke it before. Now I can apparently. So.
And that's what matters.
That's what matters. That's the true spirit of Christmas.
Smoked meat.
Nothing says I love you like a brisket.
Good.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
All right, we should probably introduce ourselves. I'll go.
Yes.
I am USA Today bestselling author Lucy McConnell, and I love to read books. Go, Ellie.
That's very impressive.
Did it sound like I was at like a book book readers anonymous class?
Alcoholics Anonymous.
Book lovers anonymous. Like I can't stop reading. It's a thing.
It's so painful. I don't know what to do. Help me.
It's an addiction. It really
Bye,
is.
Lucy. So I'm Ellie Thornton. I don't know who I am anymore. I'm Ellie Thornton. And I like to read too. We are amazing at these introductions.
I know.
This is
We're
why people come. They come for the intros.
The intros. They're like, what are they going to do this week?
And they stay for the prizes, people.
Yes. Okay. We do have prizes for today, so stay tuned.
Stay tuned. All right. So we're talking about our latest projects.
Sure.
Yours came out last week.
Okay, mine came out December 22nd. I had to look at the calendar. So just a couple days before Christmas. It is Snowed In at the Winter Palace. It is a continuation of the Snowed In series that started in 2020. And for that one, I did Snowed In at the Castle, which was about a Italian prince who would not inherit the throne. But nevertheless, there were many expectations on his shoulders for who he would marry and how and when and so forth and so on, which a cute little American tourist comes in and blows to pieces. Love it. So then this year, the American is a hired contractor architect. She's supposed to redesign the kitchen in the Winter Palace, and the prince, one of the princes who is like a cousin and he's like sixth in line for the throne, gets snowed in with her, can't make it to the castle for the big celebration, and is stuck at the Winter Palace with her, and romance ensues. I know. I'm like, if I could spend Christmas with a man who speaks Italian and is a prince and
Thinks I'm beautiful.
thinks I'm amazing and beautiful, it would be like a great Christmas. So
the terms of endearment in Italian.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have been to Italy, just saying, and there are some mighty wonderful Italian men. They have kind of this charisma. I'm not kidding. There is a charisma, like a sexiness that's inherent in their genes. And they know how to like woo women. Like I would have these older
They're
men.
very confident.
Yes, and I would have these older men who fully expected me to fall in love with them, like kissing my hand and opening doors and all stuff. And I was like, yeah, they're just that like wonderful.
It actually, of course, the one Italian man that was weird popped into my head when you said that. When I was in Venice, I was just walking down the street and this waiter came out of the restaurant. He was handsome and he came up and just started flirting with me. And he was like, my shift is over at 11:30. You should come back. And I was like, yeah. And then I walked away and I was like, no, I'm not going back.
Okay, that was smart on your part.
that is how movies like what? Oh gosh, what is that?
Only You?
Taken. This is how movies
Taken.
like. I was like, I am not going back.
I'm thinking romance that happens in Italy and blah, 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 and you're thinking like horror films.
Kidnapped and sold into slavery.
Nice.
I was like, I'm not coming back. No, but I was like, sure, yeah, okay. And then I walked away and I'm like,
no, not happening. That's hilarious.
You are not that attractive.
I love it. So that was my Christmas book released. I guess I could call it a Christmas book, but it's also kind of a wintry book because it's all about being snowed in. So it's still applicable if you would like to read it. You're not going to be disappointed. I promise he comes through with all of the Italian awesomeness. So
in a good way.
In such a good way. Not in the creepy way like Ellie's.
Just nix that we had this conversation.
Okay, go, Ellie, go. Your turn. Because you released one yesterday.
This week I had let's see, it was snowed in at the concert hall, and it's also a continuation of my snowed in book from last year. Last year I had Mila and Alec were my main characters. Mila and her two best friends are trying to save some historic buildings in their town of Granite Springs from being torn down and get in trouble. And Alec, who is an ATF agent, comes in to help them, and then they get snowed in and chaos ensues. And
wait, it was snowed in at the archives, right? That was last year?
That one snowed in at the archive, yeah. Okay. And then this year, Mila's best friend and business partner, Jack, he gets his story. I mentioned his girlfriend in the Snowden at the archive, and she's back, and we get to figure out what all the drama is and why she kept running away and why he eventually broke up with her. But you guys, I'm dying because I uploaded my book and it was the wrong one.
The wrong file, right?
The file, yeah.
The wrong version.
And here's the thing, when you upload your book to Amazon, when you upload it before the deadline, once you hit the deadline, they won't let you go in.
They lock it. They lock it. You can't fix it.
Right.
So and then that file goes out to all your pre-orders.
Exactly, on your release date. So I was watching it like carefully to see when it released, and as soon as it went out, I went back onto Amazon and I uploaded the correct file.
Mm-hmm. That is like a moment when your heart turns to like, it just goes cold and you're like, oh no. I mean, just like,
and I was like, no.
I know your fists are raised. No.
No. Yeah. It was so horrible. I was like, I've been a mess. I've been like, I promise it's not supposed to be, it's not that bad, but it wasn't bad. It was just
not that bad.
I probably, if some of you are in my newsletter, you heard me last week. I mentioned that I had to start dictating my books because I hurt my rotator cuff. And so the file that I uploaded was my dictation file. Oh. And there were just a few things in there that did not, that obviously didn't have the read through because it was the wrong file. And so I know that's irritating, and I'm so sorry. Don't hate me. I promise it was an accident. And you can actually get the update. If it's not uploading, if you still have the old version, there is a way to update it. As soon as we get off this video, I'll post a link that shows you
how to do it. That's a good call. Good call.
And I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. No, oh, you wonderful readers.
You know what? As much as we try, we're human too. Like, it's a thing. So, yeah, I'm with you. All right, let's talk. First prize.
Prizes.
See this?
The little
cute bracelet.
Snowflake bracelet. Yay.
Bracelet. Because we are talking today about A Crown of Thorn and Ice, which I have the cover up on my phone and I wanted to put up. And it's probably backwards for all of you, but look how pretty that is. So it's a crown of...
it's showing up, right.
A crown of snow and ice. And so we have this adorable snowflake bracelet, which can be worn all winter long, not just in December. Go.
Well, and if you're in Utah, you could well into spring and possibly even summer.
Yeah, like our ski resorts don't close until like May. I think it's May 8th was last year. So
and sometimes we still have blizzards in the valley. Like I remember there being a full-on whiteout conditions blizzard in Salt Lake City on May 11th once. And people were like, this is totally normal.
This is what we do here.
Fine.
Yeah.
We're driving 65 miles per hour on the freeway.
I know. And that's, So I digress. I won't go into all of this. All of our driving stuff. That could be another 15-minute conversation. We want to talk about the book. Stuff. So, okay.
Yes, we do.
Go.
Okay,
Ellie
so what do they have to do to win
what do you have to do? Okay, to win this bracelet is for people who are watching today. Drop an emoji. Like, preferably a snowman or a snowflake or something. But you know what? We take smiley faces. We'll Christmas even take the poop emoji if you want. Whatever emoji you want to drop in there. Go for it. We are not picky. So, and then we'll have a random number generator. Pick it before we're done. Pick the winner before we're done here. So, okay. That's good. So,
all right. So now we're talking about A Crown of Snow and Ice. And I've got some questions here. Okay. So what did you think of the book's title and cover?
Okay. So I'll show the cover again so that it shows up so beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It is a really gorgeous cover, I have to say. Like, this is one that if I was walking past it in the store, I would have stopped to look at it because...
To pick it up, right?
And I have a weakness for dresses. Like, I sew and things. And so for me, this is like... For me, I'd be like, how did they get the bodice to do that? And how do I would be like, ooh, I love all that tulle in there. Like, it would be, that alone was like... grabbing my attention. But this arch that's in here behind her,
it's gorgeous.
It's stunning. And it has greenery on it, but the greenery is like the roses on it. I don't know if you looked that close. They're frozen. It's so pretty. Oh, it's so pretty.
I might have to pull it up on my phone and look again.
You're like, wait a minute, there's frozen roses? What?
That's so cool. Yeah. Oh, they are.
Isn't that the neatest thing? I was like, the detail on this is just amazing. So,
it is amazing. I actually love the dress. So this is a retelling of the Snow Queen. It says at the top of the book, and like even on the cover it does. But usually when I see retellings of the Snow Queen, it's all a lot of like icy blues, like really pale blues. And so I really liked seeing that dark
the royal
dress.
Blue.
Yeah, it seemed a little bit different than other things that I've seen, and I felt like it made it stand out a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it also made it so that they could use that gold and have a really pretty contrast, whereas on the ones with the light blue, they have to use
a silver or white.
White, yeah. And so I liked that a lot.
Yeah, that made it pop.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Plus the gold she is a princess herself. So the gold is very, like, it just speaks to that princess part of her.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then, of course, she has this fabulous mane of hair.
Oh, my word. Like, I know. Where's my fan? Like,
I know, right? I'm like, how do I get hair like
we
that?
We need to do that for a Facebook Live. We need to put fans on.
Just
so
put
it's like
fans
this
on.
Constantly.
Have it blowing. Okay. Prepare for this, people, because it's going to happen. So I loved it. Okay. And then the title, I like A Crown of Snow and Ice. Even if it didn't say a retelling of the Snow Queen, I think I could have guessed from that title, but it's still original enough that it worked for me.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. And I like that she used the snow and ice, because I think A Crown of Snow wouldn't have had the same impact, and A Crown of Ice.
That's right.
Would have had a different feeling to it, but the whole snow and ice and the rhythm of the words there is very beautiful.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, really pretty.
Yep.
And then Lucy and I were talking about this a little bit beforehand, and we were kind of on differing sides of this. So I've noticed with a lot of YA covers, if you've got a series and the books are standalone, even if they're series and you don't need to read them in order, but you can, and it can be a little bit helpful, but not necessarily. Not so much that you'll be lost. Yeah, not so much that you'd be lost if you didn't read it in order, which is the case with this one. And we'll talk about that in a second, because we had some opinions on that as well. But I noticed that on this cover as well, there isn't the book number, like which book it is in the series.
I did find
me, I was like, I wish that the book number had been on there.
Right. I did find it. It is on the first, like I don't know what, title page?
First page.
Right here at the bottom.
Title page.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is in there. It's inside though. It's not on the cover. But it isn't, because I was like, I don't know what number this is. Is this 5? Is this 3? What are we at? Like, kind of a thing. And we were trying to figure that out before we started today. And we didn't actually know. And so I actually flipped the thing when I was just looking at the cover. And there we go. So it popped up. But I was like, it is there. It's book 3. In case anybody was questioning or wondering like we were, it is book 3. So, yeah.
Yes, but didn't you say what was you were saying about it that you didn't think it needed to have the book number on it?
Well, okay, I understand why you would leave the book cover off, because if any book in the series is an entry point for the series, because I read this one and then I was like, oh, I would like to go back and read the others. This was the first one in the series I read. I didn't feel so lost. Oh, sorry. I didn't feel so lost or anything because it was the third book. So I was like, oh yeah, it'd be very easy to go back and read one too. So because any book can be an entry point for the series, they don't necessarily have to be read in order. So I can understand leaving the number off the cover. Now, our Harvest Ranch and Snowed In and all of those books, so our Snowed In books don't have numbers on the cover. They are standalones and they can be read at any point. Our Harvest Ranch ones, a lot of them happen simultaneously. So I think it helps that they are numbered there. So I think it's like the first 6 books happen the first fall festival. Mm-hmm. So they're numbered so that the things that happen simultaneously, you're reading about those things in order. So for that reason, I think it helps. But again, anything in the Harvest Ranch, you could start anywhere really and be like, and they're standalones. So they can stand alone. So anyway, so I understand it, like I get it, but I can also see where it would be frustrating. I have had readers say, which one's the first book in the Snowed In? And I'm like, it doesn't matter. But this is the first set and this is the second set. So anyway.
Okay, how original or unique is this book?
Okay, so I haven't read a lot of Snow Queen retellings. I have read a lot of fairy tale retellings. But this is my first Snow Queen one, so I don't think I'm really set up to answer that. So I'm going to pass that over to you.
I haven't read a ton, but I think this is my third.
Okay.
That I've read, and it's interesting to me because all 3 of the ones I've read have been very good retellings of the Snow Queen, but they've all been very different.
Okay.
And so for me, I felt like this was original. It wasn't like right along the same like direct path as the Snow Queen.
Okay.
But I still didn't, I still thought it was a good original, fun retelling of the Snow Queen. My dog is chewing something up.
Okay, so while you take care of that one, I'll just say that I have read the original version of the Snow Queen from Hans Christian Andersen, and this wasn't super close to the original, but I did love the variations of it. So I did really love because have you read the original Snow Queen story?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not like that, but it's a very good nod. Like I felt like it was a really good nod to the original fairy tale.
Yeah, that's how I felt too. One of the ones that I've read is I just forgot what it's called, but it's by Jackie Stevens. Mm-hmm. And when you go on to her, like if you go on her Amazon page, really easy to find. Okay. And hers follows the original tale pretty well. And so this was different in that aspect for sure, but it was a good nod to the Snow Queen.
Okay, cool. And what else did you have?
All right. How well do you think the author built the world in the book?
Okay, I was really impressed because I actually could picture this place. Like,
yes,
the first, like the whole carriage ride in it, I could picture the carriage ride, which
Yeah.
It's pretty, a lot of people skip over details in that area. I felt like the author hit the balance of describing without boring very nicely.
Right. Without dumping too much info on you.
Yes. And then the castle that they are kidnapped to.
Yeah.
Again, I could see all of it. Like, I was right there. So not an issue. And then the town that the prince is from, again, saw so much of it. And I loved the way she described the streets switchbacking up the mountain. And she's like, do you guys do this every day? And I'm like, okay, because when I was in Italy, we went to the Italian Alps and we actually did climb a mountain and go up into the Alps, and we stayed one night in a villa in the top. Like we hiked all over that thing, and I'm from Utah. I'm an outdoorsy girl, like a hike and stuff, and I'd been backpacking all over Italy and walking everywhere with a big pack on my back, but even that, I was totally empathizing with her. And I'm like, not to mention, I didn't have to do it dressed like a princess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Much easier.
Yes. So.
Yeah. No, I thought she did a great job too. It was easy to see. She pulled in little details that you could tell were mentioned in other books, but I didn't necessarily feel like I needed them to be explained. But it told me a lot about this world and what I was to expect. Like when she started mentioning the godmothers and how they give gifts, and I was like, oh, okay, so that's something I need to think about and to be paying attention to. And so I liked that, and the setting up of her gift and just everything. I thought she did a really good job.
Well, and the evolution of the godmother gifts throughout this story, like the detail that was revealed as time went on. You hear about, well, she had her godmother gift. She is like, doesn't know what it is, how to use it. She's like totally oblivious to the power within her. But then you go on and you find out that there are these other magical items that are bestowed with a godmother, like a spell or an ability or kind of a thing, and she's learning about those, and her knowledge of those things grows as the story goes on, so the reader is learning with her, which is way cool because I came into it, I'm like, I get what a godmother gift is. Like I've seen Sleeping Beauty where the godmothers fly in and, they give her their gifts and things like that. Like, that was familiar enough. Like, I got that idea. But then this whole, like, magical objects and mirrors and things, I was like, that was, like, a fascinating expansion on the level that I already had a foundation for. So, yeah. So I thought that was just a really well done. Mm-hmm.
Great job. Very interesting. Yep. Okay, and then what did we think of Celine? That was the main character.
I liked her.
Me too. I thought she was like feisty right off the bat, and it kind of cracked me up a little bit just to see how she handled things, like her sarcasm too.
Oh, I know.
She whisper things under her breath when she would get irritated with other people and didn't want them to hear what she was saying or whatever. I don't know. She just was fun. She had good spunk.
Yeah. Well, and she was daring and brave. And, I think I liked how she was like, I can't remember what number she was. Was she like the 10th, the 6th? I mean, she was way down in family. I don't know. She was not 16th, just 6th. Like, 6th, yeah, 6th. She was like way down in the whole family line of things, right? Like, she's far, far away from the crown. She's never, she's not there. But she's also like... like parents get to this point where they're just exhausted and they're like, she's like, so I got away with a lot of stuff because by the time my parents got to me, and I was like, so true, like true that, like that is like, I get it. So she was like braver in a lot of ways because her parents were like, whatever.
She had the baby child personality for sure.
Oh yeah, like last born, whatever. So yeah, she was fun that way too because she was just kind of like, well, the rules don't apply to me. I'm gonna go do this.
Like, do whatever I want.
I was like, you go do that. Go save that prince, you girlfriend.
Yeah. Well, and even at the beginning, just the not wanting to wait to be saved.
Yes.
And just like her total you're kidding me, right? Like,
you guys are gonna sit here and wait for somebody to show up.
Want to sit here and wait? And then I loved that her sisters were like, see, he saved us. And she's like, she doesn't look like a 13-year-old girl. Or he doesn't look like a 13-year-old girl. I was like, that's an excellent point. And she wasn't even taking the credit for the rescue herself. She was giving it
to somebody else.
Yeah. But anyway, I liked that.
Well, and I loved when they're breaking out and that guard shows up, the surprise guard. And they're like staring at each other, and she's dragging this other guard back. She's totally caught. She's like,
I know. I was like, dang.
Eye contact, and she's just holding him there with her eyes like, don't move. The first one to move loses. It's like this whole staring contest.
I was so surprised that she was carrying the guard. I was like,
drag, like. Because if you're dragging somebody, like you've got their arms and you're dragging them, you can use your legs. It's your leg, and your legs are really strong.
That's true. Yeah. But still, I was like, this is not a dainty little waif of a princess who will fall over if you blow on her.
Right, right.
She can knock guards out and drag them away if she wants.
She can make this happen.
That's right.
I'm like, that is the kind of woman I want in the throne. I could root for this girl. Yeah.
For real.
I could totally root for this girl. So, what did you think about the Earl who was trying to help?
He's the one from the beginning, right?
The one that kidnapped him, yeah. What did you think of him?
I was a little bit irritated by his I need to think about this and then never getting back to it. But he seemed nice. Like he just was back to a corner and was trying to figure out, so I liked him. Even if there were things that I was like, maybe you could be a little more proactive.
Try a little harder. Just try, buddy. Just try. But it was kind of par for the course as far as like people not caring. Like he cared enough, but he just was like indecisive.
Yeah.
So,
and that really was part of the plot too anyway though. Mm-hmm. I mean,
to show that the magic was spreading.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So.
Yeah. And so like once you get that, you're like, oh, okay. All right. It's less irritating. It's like, not totally your fault. All right.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay.
So,
cool.
Cool. That's all of our questions. Okay. But great read.
Yeah.
Definitely recommend if you haven't read it yet, go and grab it.
Yeah.
The Crown of Snow by Melanie Sellier.
It's good stuff. All right. We are looking for recommendations for our next book club. So if you have a book that you love, if you have one that you would like an excuse to read, if you would, which is like always a great thing. Oh, darn, they're reading this for book club and I have to read it now. It's like,
I have to go. I can't stay here and participate in this activity with you people.
Yes, because I have a book club book that has to be done by this date. So if any of those ones that you've just been interested in, we take all recommendations. This one was a fantasy romance, and I mean we had Regency, we've had contemporary, like whatever you guys are looking at. Right. We are happy to take those suggestions and we compile them and then have a random number generator choose for us. So go ahead and throw anything out there. We've even had classics, like over Christmas we talked about reading A Christmas Carol. Did you watch the movie, by the way? Oh, you're so much in trouble.
Am I fired?
You are so fired. Oh my gosh, you had like 3 jobs and that was it.
I know. I'm going to watch it this weekend because I have time this weekend.
Okay.
So
all right. So the movie is The Man Who Invented Christmas, and it's about Charles Dickens writing A Christmas Carol and how that all went down. And obviously it's a fictional representation, but it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. I watched it again. So, and now that I have rented it twice at full price, I think I should have just paid for it the first time. So next year I'm buying myself the digital copy so I do not have to rent it for a 3rd year in a row. So Probably, actually, it would be the 4th year in a row because it's been 3 years that I've been watching it. So every Christmas. But yes, I love it. So, okay, back to books.
That is, we're meeting next Wednesday.
Yes.
That's January 5th.
2020.
At 4 p.m. Put your recommendations below, and then next week we will pick, we've got a couple prizes for people.
Yes, so for prizes for people who recommend books, we have this cute winter book and this beautiful slow cooker cookbook, which is sure to take the stress out of dinner for you this coming year.
So make a recommendation, you could win one of those prizes, and we'll announce who gets what next week.
Yes, for sure.
In the video, as long with who our guest author will be, and the our three top choices, and then we'll do the random number generator.
We'll choose one
to pick the one that we're going to read for next month.
Okay, and I am going to.
A lot of fairy tale retellings.
Okay, so we have a couple people participating today. We actually have 5 people who are participating today. So, can you do you have a random number generator? Pick a 1 through 5?
Yes.
Okay.
Hang on.
Give us just a second. We'll find out who is going to win this stunning bracelet.
All right. Now you have to give me a second.
Okay. Let me just talk about the benefits of this bracelet. It is a one-size-fits-all. No, just with an adorable charm on it. So, again, if you want to, I guess it's past time to enter because we're picking. So, but if you want to enter the other competition, we can. What? Who? What?
Number 1.
Number 1, Priscilla. Priscilla, thank you. I will message you and get your address and get this sent to you. So, it's awesome. I'm excited. Yay, Priscilla, thank you. And I love your snowman and your snowflake emojis. That was very appropriate. Thanks. I love it. Okay.
Cool. So
we'll
leave those recommendations and we'll see you next week.
Tell us what books. We are looking forward to it. Bye.
Bye.